Three, two, one.
The following Pulpery podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Welcome to the Pulpery Nerdcast with Brock and Ben. This podcast is where we discuss the nerd culture headlines that intrigue us and those minor details that enrage us.
Thrawn
Yeah.
is a little terrifying.
Let's just get to the meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah, we're gonna tap dance around this shit. He spoiler alert, although the entire series has been let's get to Thrawn.
Yeah. No, the big question has been who plays Thrawn.
Right, because that's what I'm saying. We all knew it was going there. Even with all the other side quests that they do. Yeah. He was kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
I think it was weird because of the voice. And like I didn't realize that it was the same person who does the voice.
Yeah, who did it in Rebels and Clone Wars.
Yeah. I think that may have thrown me off. Just like, wait a minute, that guy's spot on with that voice. What is it? So it was a little weird.
Well, and that, I mean, this has nothing to do with how Lars Mikkelsen plays it, but
He's a Mikkelsen.
I mean, the fun part is, the voices don't share a scene together, but then you got David Tennant doing the android, but
oh yeah,
who also mastered and Jessica Jones doing the calm tone villain.
Oh yeah,
Never raising their voice, but it's just that like, oh, so now you can go and kill him. Like, ooh,
those.
yeah.
You should have a German accent with that.
Well, and as you pointed out, like that's what made Heath Ledger so brilliant.
Yeah.
In Dark Knight, which was like other than one or two scenes where he raised his voice, it was mainly just that like
he was right, licking his lips. He said it was because of all the makeup and stuff that he had constant cotton mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, now we know why, but rest in peace, man. God, I love you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anybody with a long mustache knows what that's like. So.
Mm-hmm.
Stop chewing on it. I can't.
So,
But back to Thrawn, yes.
I like. Yeah, he was impressive.
It is Captain of the Guard. That shit was freaky too.
Yeah, and like everything else, pale. Like I don't remember the part right before we met him.
Well, they get up to where they bring in the witches.
Yep.
That I don't know if again I watched the animated series a lot.
I didn't.
Bits and pieces
That's
here.
Hit me. Same thing.
So I remember the witches from the video games, though.
Yes.
And so it's cool to see them in live action, and they look exactly the same as the video game animation.
Yes.
But yeah, they're on that mountaintop, and he lands the beat up, not Death Star or Imperial Star Cruiser.
Oh yeah, that's right.
On top of them.
Yes.
It's a fucking hell of an entrance.
Right, like here are my bitches witches, and now I'm gonna mic drop this badass giant Star Destroyer.
I can't put that in the title of the show, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, it's got a bad word, but they are bitches witches. Right. So now he didn't get. What were they looking for? See, I'm getting confused now because I want to say a map, but that could have been in the game that I'm playing.
Now they have to figure out how to get him back to the Prime Galaxy. And then on top of that, it was Ray Stevenson's. I don't know if he's not a Sith Lord.
No, that's what I couldn't figure out. But he's Jedi sensitive, which apparently is. We talked about that last week.
Well, he's a trained Jedi.
It's a thing now.
But he's and he keeps making these soliloquies about what he wants to happen. But it's still so. I mean, and even in this one, his Padawan is like, "The fuck are you talking about?"
Exactly. She had a lot of those looks. She didn't really say much through the whole thing. She's a little anxious, we'll say. But yes, what the fuck are you talking? So is he turning face?
I don't know. I mean,
good guy. Sorry.
Or we might be finally getting our first gray Jedi, like the ones that ride the middle, that feed into the dark side and the good side.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
there's a time traveling dude in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
His name's Cable. He does that.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was rumored to be coming out in the Obi-Wan series, but we never.
The gray.
Yeah, a gray Jedi, which is.
He would be perfect in that role.
Right.
Because he's so fucking serious, but he's not going to put up with any evil bullshit just for the sake of evil bullshit.
Well, and quick aside on that, unfortunately, Ray Stevenson, rest in peace.
Yes.
But I saw somewhere somebody had a brilliant casting for that where it wouldn't be that unbelievable.
It was the guy who I thought it was.
Liev Schreiber.
No, there's another one.
Somebody said bring in Liev Schreiber to play that character, and he can almost, his voice almost sounds the same, except he just had to put on like a little bit of a British accent.
Preacher. Hold on. God damn it. McTavish.
Oh yeah, Graham McTavish.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
that'd work too.
He would be.
He's lower scale. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. He would be.
Yeah.
That guy.
So, but yeah, and that was that part where they let and this we haven't talked about, and this I don't remember from the bits and pieces of the animated series that I've seen. They're really leaning heavy on Mandalorians now.
Yes.
And
they're popping up more.
Yeah.
I guess because now that they've introduced that it is it's a race of people at this point, right?
Right.
Because you're born on Mandalore, you are a Mandalorian.
And you could be converted.
Right.
Or it's a culture, so to speak. So.
What did I say? Species? That was the dumbest word I've ever said in my entire life.
No, you said a race. Yeah. I mean, it could go either way. I mean, like, there's the pure Mandalorians.
Right.
And then there's, like, Mando, who was converted. He was a foundling.
Right.
And they converted him.
Just like What's-Her-Face was.
Right.
I never can remember her name. And she's going to have her own fucking show here pretty soon, I bet.
Probably.
Anyway, see, that's...
But then she goes off and finds her long-lost friend with those weird crab people.
Right. I don't know. They've got to... Is Obi-Wan Kenobi dead at this point? No, he's still alive. No, he's dead.
No, he's dead.
Yoda's still alive.
Yes.
So basically, any Jedi that was alive for New Hope...
Yeah.
Which were none at that point.
Oh no, Yoda might be gone now, because this is like when Luke believes he's the only one.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is post.
Again, I'm in my game's time frame.
Yeah, because Ahsoka is a kid or a teenager during Order 66.
Well, yeah, Anakin was her.
Yeah.
And I actually went back to that, and you know what? I'm okay. I'm all right.
No, I thought that was great.
Yeah. Hayden Christensen can annoy, but he did his thing.
No, I got no problems with that guy.
No.
Particularly when he's not being directed by George Lucas, who cannot direct actors.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Set pieces. I say it all the time. Set pieces, I watched Temple of Doom randomly this weekend. You know, I could be watching shows or anything, but no, I watched Temple of fucking Doom.
Yeah.
Set pieces. It's like a fucking amusement park.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Futurama's back.
But new season's over with.
Well, we didn't really get to talk about it.
Because I tell you what, it's one of the weirder seasons.
They have everybody back?
Yeah, I mean, every character has come back in some shape or form. In the finale, like, they went super meta, where
They're great.
they, I just watched it yesterday, and there was even a point where I was I was like, wait, what the fuck's happening here? And but they do it where
is Christopher Nolan directing this now? What's going on?
Wait till you hear it.
Okay.
So the show starts with they create like a Minecraft augmented reality, and they're just sitting there watching it, and then the show cuts into
the actual in the Minecraft.
Yeah. And it starts off where like they're like block people, but then they eventually like you see what they see, which is they look normal to each other.
All right.
And then at some point, like this, they keep bouncing back and forth between these two, and then the stories sync up. Like so, they're doing like clips from the season so far, and it's like they're watching like, hey, that's weird because we did that like 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
And then at some point, all of these storylines like sync up, and then it jumps out to the main reality. And so the premise that you've been like that they're putting forth at the beginning is actually what you've been watching this season was an augmented reality created by the main storyline. That's why things are a little off. That's why, and you're going like, holy fuck! Like
they thought about that whole time.
Yeah. Which I mean, they've done that in previous seasons too, like where they set something up in like season 2 and they don't bring it about until like season 5.
So now they can,
and it's in some weird thing that like Bender says, like, and you're like,
right now they can reference that in this universe,
yeah.
Reference that the augmented reality.
And it's almost as if they knew, like, oh, people are just going to watch this over and over and over and over again, and then they're going to be able to finally pick up
everything together. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, it would.
So are they doing it again? That sounded really dirty.
Well, they are signed up for one more season. So depending on how much Hulu wants to do, but.
Well, and again, everything's been pushed back because of the strike. So
yeah.
Who knows how those contracts are going to work, right?
Yeah, I mean...
We'll talk about that in a second. In
it's
about
like
3 minutes.
Yeah, oh man, that would have been a good one to segue into, because remember when we first started talking about Futurama coming back,
right?
They were one of the main guys, John DiMaggio, who does like Bender and like 80 other. Yeah, because he was like you all are paying us too little.
Right.
Like if I'm doing 80 characters in this show, I need to be paid on scale for that. Not,
right. Which again, they just.
But he was able to hold out, and he got everybody more money.
And now they're probably all going to get more money.
Well, yeah.
Have you read?
I did, yeah. I got through that today.
Good for you.
Yeah.
How many pages was it?
Well, I didn't read the actual agreement. I read what the union got, but again.
Okay, no, okay,
we'll get
sorry.
to that.
So we'll get that.
So yeah, but
that's interesting that it all.
It's,
you know what it did? That conversation just did with that episode.
Exactly.
We just came around and it all made sense.
But it's the first season, which I mean, it's the 11th season of Futurama.
Total?
Yeah, and that it's the first one that they instead of trying to like tie off the whole series, they were like, no, it's like we just tied off this season. Like, so all those things that you thought were weird,
we just put a bow on that.
Yeah, or because of that. And so, like you said, like they have like Christopher Nolan writing.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Like, oh fuck, we've been watching. They implanted it in my mind at the beginning.
So basically, what happened was it was Inception.
Yeah.
And they planted it in your mind, right? And then they did a Tenet.
Tenet, yeah.
Right, and did everything in reverse.
Right, and some of the episodes were shot like Dunkirk, where you're watching things out of time context.
There you go, Christopher Nolan. We're on to you, motherfucker. You brilliant
Well,
bastard.
It makes sense. It's like the whole show is celebrating all sci-fi, so why not?
Yeah, that's
why
what
not
the
bring
show
in
is.
Modern sci-fi storytelling into it. We want to take this time to thank you for supporting the Pulpery Podcast. We are available on all podcast platforms, so please follow us and turn on the downloads. You can always delete them later. If audio is not your thing, we are on YouTube. Check out our page and hit the subscribe button, like our episodes, and share with all your friends. Follow us on all the socials for our latest content, and additional takes on the latest stories and news. If you need a change for your taste buds, go to thegdsauce.com and change the way you think about the way you eat. From their signature goddamn sauce to their ghost pepper sauce, they have everything you need to rethink condiments. Help support an independent business by getting rid of your same old condiments and boss up with the goddamn sauces.
There are several people who are not good in the wrestling world. Because apparently when you have a company merge with another company, you need to lay off everyone.
Yeah.
And it happened Thursday?
Oh, what, the layoffs or the merger?
The layoffs. I think it was Thursday. And it wasn't like...
Yeah, because we were talking about it last week.
And it wasn't like a list. They trickled them out. It was like, so-and-so's been released. So-and-so's been released. So-and-so's been released. And then it got to people. We talked about Dolph Ziggler last week.
Yeah.
And Mustafa Ali. Like big Matt Riddle.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like, who else? There was another one. Like big name guys who are currently in storylines. So, now we get to the Vince McMahon maybe being forced out because of the ongoing investigations, which I still do not understand how the merger or sale, did they get sold or did UFC and them merge?
As far as I've heard, I mean, it sounds like a merge.
Right, me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that might have been part of the deal, is that they merged together and McMahon's got to go.
Exactly. Because right now he's still doing them. I don't think he's fucking with like on-screen product or storylines or anything.
Yeah.
Maybe a phone call, but he's not at any of the events. But he is still what amounts to the CEO of former
right
WWE.
But so in merging, and then now they're going to have a new stock name.
And he's selling all of his stocks.
And you don't want, like, if you want that to continue to be profitable, you don't need, like, part of this is disassociation.
Right.
With, I would assume.
Which the whole point of the
behavior,
sale.
Yeah.
Right. Which was, okay, I need to move on. But
he can just
still clinging on to power. God, he sounds like somebody else I know.
Well, but I mean, even from his standpoint, like, yeah, he sells his shares in the company, makes billions of dollars,
right?
Puts that into in under his kid's name.
And just so I understand this, he sells his company, but he still owns all those shares, right?
Yeah.
That he can then turn around and sell, which is what he did.
Yeah, or, I mean, and I would think, too, I mean, they may not force him to sell everything, but just make sure that he does not have a majority.
Yeah, well, he can't have that. Well, if he had stock, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think he got rid of everything. Almost liquidated all that shit.
He's at the point, like, sell it all, like, keep a portion so you're not paying a bunch of taxes, and then put that, like, with your kids back in the company. And then that's your ploy of you manipulate from the shadows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is why his daughter, Stephanie, basically said, go fuck yourself. I'm not here and I'm probably never coming back. And Triple H going,
huh? What?
Hey, Shawn, we got this motherfucker. So him and Shawn Michaels are running NXT and WWE. Don't tell anybody. Yeah. And we'll get to sign people. But they have nothing to do with the layoffs. That is a company thing.
Yeah.
That was just, we need to trim some dead weight after this sale.
I can't imagine, though, like, Triple H is like, no, we got to hang on to this doucher.
A couple of Dolph Ziggler. That guy's, he's been there for 20 years. The only place he's been, it's like he's Sting in WCW.
Yeah.
Like, he just never went anywhere.
Yeah.
He wasn't even, I think he was homegrown. Like, he went, like Seth Rollins and all those cats, they were on the independent and stuff. I don't think Dolph Ziggler did.
Yeah. But, I mean, that, it seems interesting to me because, too, like, LA Knight's coming up more and
organically,
more and more.
Yeah.
But, like, his his name is popping up
Yep.
more and more.
If you can go down a massive rabbit hole of LA Knight being in commercials and like a background character in a scene in this sitcom, there are thousands of them.
But I could see from like Triple H's standpoint of like not objecting to a lot of the stuff of going like, either I didn't know what I was going to do with them, or like it's just dead weight. Like let's get rid of it.
LA Knight is getting over organically. That wasn't WWE pushing him. They were just, he was there.
But now you have free space to bring him up to the top of the mountain, so to speak.
And if you get him rubbing shoulders with John Cena at a pay-per-view, like is rumored, even better.
Yeah.
We need to write that down. I'll have to text the wife. She'll be stoked to hear that. Maybe we can get a girls' night out of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Good news.
Or you could just come over here and we watch it over here.
Facts.
Yeah.
Good news with the strike. Tentative.
Yeah.
We're just gonna hard right turn that because there's no way to get to that. I mean, I could have went down to John Cena. My brain did the math.
Yeah.
Like I could have went John Cena and then working shows.
Actors are still on strike, so Cena still has. He's got to wait to find out on that one.
Which is why he's still working shows.
But this is if the tentative agreement goes through for the Writers Guild, this would set the stage for the actors. Like so.
Because are the actors striking for anything, or they're just striking in favor of the writers?
Both.
So they're actually actively looking for
a
better deal in the collective bargaining agreement. Sorry.
Well, and both of them comes down to two key pieces, which is the protection against AI.
Okay.
And the streaming residuals.
Exactly.
And
because there are guys out there saying, I worked a series for Netflix.
I mean, even people being like, I was one of the stars on a #1 show on one of the streaming services, and I got paid the same as the guy who was like in the background, like
Oh yeah.
Which is pay to scale, but it's in saying like we all got paid to scale for the production, but we got nothing for the millions of times that was streamed. The
millions of money that these streaming services are making.
Which would so we take something that everybody's watched a couple of times, like Stranger Things.
That's where I was headed, right.
All those kid actors, they got paid up front, but they're not getting any, like they might get like, a nickel.
They're not getting residuals at all.
Or they might get a nickel or like 2 cents for every time the show's streamed. But when you look at it overall, like how much Netflix is making or how much these...
How many eyeballs are on those streams? Like, you look at social media is all about touches.
Yeah.
Right? We know this. We do a podcast and we don't get enough. So tell everybody. Don't forget the like button, subscribe, share, and comment down below. Yes, we get it.
Well, and that's what are in the...
Well, so how does advertising come into that too? Because these companies now, even the streaming companies, are getting paid advertising money.
So that's the that was one of the things. Again, I unfortunately am limited to like CNN at work.
I knew you would get the read the gist.
And one of their things was like, how's this going to affect the cost at home? Because so in order to meet the demands, they might have to increase subscription costs.
I bet they're in the green enough to...
And we've talked about this part before, which is you got a company like Netflix who apparently at their creative headquarters or whoever signs off on shows is just living in a pound of blow and just like, that sounds great, do that, and
not just in this country. Like
they're doing like a bunch of Indian productions.
That's what I'm saying. They
Korean
have productions that are Netflix exclusive in a bunch of countries.
Right.
was that one that I watched that was in German?
Whereas, and so if you like, you compare Apple TV to
The Squid Game's a perfect example there.
But Apple TV to Netflix. Netflix keeps doing like anything under the sun.
Yep.
And you got to pay $28 now a month if you want, full streaming service. Apple is still what, like $5 or $4.99 a month?
If you have,
and they do the old HBO model. You have one series lead into another one lead into.
And their series, just like HBO, because it was a premium service back in the day. Yes, you had to pay extra on top of your cable, just like we do today. That they went with quality,
right, over quantity.
Over quantity.
Yeah.
Yes, you leave your viewer wanting more, and I get the whole, like, we live in an instant gratification, 5-second clips these days. I can't wait. Netflix kind of started that, just episode dumping, or series dumping. But just how much did these people, everybody love?
But you have other services that are tapping into that.
AMC's been doing it on their TV forever.
Paramount has been doing that.
I mean, just one series leads into
another. Yeah, they never dump all the Star Trek episodes at once. It's you got to wait a week, or you act like an adult and I'll wait a month or I'll wait 2 months and then I'll sit
watch
down and
everything.
Yeah.
There's
enough content, or there was enough content until they started fucking with this shit.
Which has been, I was trying to figure that out now. The whole summer, right?
Writer's strike has been on strike for 3 months.
June.
Yeah, like late June into end of September. So.
Oh, okay. I was on my.
But they did get higher residuals on streaming,
which they should.
So, pretty much they were. It's not exact, but it's the same concepts that the actors are asking for. So if the writers get it, then it's assumed that once the writers' deal is done, then they're going to negotiate with the actors, and the actors should get some comparable deal.
Yeah.
In terms of like percentage wise.
Residuals.
Yeah.
The same as the writers, the actors.
The funny thing is now, like at the beginning of this, when everybody was like, the Directors Guild signed off and,
I forgot,
quelled that. Now the Directors Guild is looking a little foolish and going like, if you had either threatened or you had held out, because you're still not making shit.
It's so funny that they're called a guild.
Yeah,
it's like Elven time. Sorry, that's all I can think about.
When you live in Skyrim, you have to join one of the guilds.
You do,
but
you need backup, which is the whole point of a union. See, if we explain that to everyone, that like you need to join a clan or a guild. Sorry, I went on a rant. Then people would understand how unions work.
I think for some reason, you're right. Like there's a more positive view of the Writers Guild and the Actors Guild versus the union of auto workers.
Thank you. Yeah. That's where I was trying ahead, but that's in the political part, so I'm just saving it.
A guild sounds magical.
It sounds amazing. Amazing.
You have your own award show.
Yes.
In between the Globes and the Oscars.
The SAGs. The Screen Actors Guild? Oh my God, all these guilds, they should LARP. They should, oh my fucking Christ, I did.
There you go.
They need to create a Renaissance festival with all of the guilds.
Could be.
I can create my own guild. I'm going to Renaissance Fest in October, so.
There you go.
I got a kilt for my anniversary.
Interesting.
I asked for it.
With like the whole buckle and
no, I don't need all that shit. I
got
pockets on the side. No, mine's like more tactical.
So that's just a Catholic schoolgirl skirt then.
It's tactical.
Tactical kilt.
It's not the drunk kilt that the 60-year-old men wear.
The following Pulpery podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Pulper is a privately produced podcast by Brock Ryder and Ben Grimmie. On social media and photography by Beck Ryder. Original music by the Heisenberg Compensators.